Hey there, welcome back to my channel, Messing with Michelle. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new and discovering my channel for the first time, welcome. My name's Michelle. So I'm just headed downstairs into my basement because today I'm going to be sharing with you an unfinished basement deep clean. If you've been to my channel before, you might have seen little bits and pieces of my basement, but I haven't really shown the entire space. So here's a quick shot of what the basement looks like. And you may be thinking to yourself, there's really not much in here, so what could you possibly clean? But I can tell you there is a lot of dust, debris, as well as creepy crawlers that I have to tackle in today's video. If you are new here and you love cleaning motivation, how-to videos, as well as DIYs, I'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so I can take you on my messy journey with me. So let's jump in and I'll start cleaning up the basement shortly, but I just wanted to show you a few shots of what the basement looks like beforehand. And you can tell those are those creepy crawlers that made it into the basement that I definitely have to get rid of. So here's a shot of my basement stairs, and even though the dogs do not come down here, Duke and Buster, their hair gets everywhere, and you can see that it's settled all on these stairs, so these stairs definitely need to have a good thorough vacuuming. So today's video I'm doing a lot of vacuuming and it's going to be a lot of dust down here in the basement, so I'm using my shop vac for today's cleaning. And if you have a shop vac, I highly suggest to use it if you are vacuuming spaces that are not the usual spaces of your home, like an unfinished basement or garage. It's just so much easier to use and the filter doesn't get clogged up like if you were to use a regular one. So definitely going to be using that in today's video. So I'm starting underneath my basement stairs, and I have a lot of extra hardwood flooring as well as tiling, and I just wanted to get this a little bit more organized because it's been sitting here like this for quite a while. And there's a little tiny entrance that you can see here that was getting blocked off, so I just thought I'd move my tiles over to the far side, so this way I have a little bit more easy access if I need to store anything underneath my stairs area. I'm really happy that I chose to use a shop vac because it can tackle those large chunks of dust and debris, whereas my Dyson might have had a little bit more of a struggle, so just more of a heavy duty vacuum to use in these areas. And you can see this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's on the floors and hiding in the nooks and crannies of my basement. In our previous house, Bobby and I painted the basement floor to keep some of the dust down, but we haven't got to that point in this house, so I'm considering possibly doing it in this house just to keep the dust down from floating around. Let me know in the comments if you have any solutions in the meantime that would help with the dust in the basement area. I know that vacuuming it definitely will help, but if there's anything else that you know of, any tips or tricks, I'd love to hear them. So another reason why I use my shop vac is because I did not want to have all those dead bugs in my Dyson. I know I can easily clean it out, but I just feel a lot better knowing it's in the shop vac rather than having in the regular vacuum that I use around the rest of the house upstairs and in my bedrooms. So I just went in with some vinegar and water just to spray off the windowsill. I'm just using a microfiber cloth to wipe it down. And I usually use vinegar and water to clean off the windows or mirrors around my house. But since it's such a long time since I've cleaned these windows, I decided to go in with just a glass cleaner just to give the windows a very good, thorough, deep clean, which you'll see in just a few minutes. I'm using a foam glass and window cleaner, and I love this because it doesn't streak down the glass or the window as you're cleaning it. It just kind of sits there and clings to the window and the glass. So here are those little creepy crawler bugs that I wanted to suck up with my shop vac, and this is actually the following day. It was getting pretty late in the night, so I just decided to wait for the following day to continue on and cleaning my basement. And this is the other side of my basement windows. I love my basement because it doesn't have those small windows where you feel like you're in a cave. It's really nice and bright down here, and we do get a lot of sun at the back of the house, so it's perfect when you come down in the basement. It doesn't feel like you're going into a dungeon. This is a pub style table that I've had for years. This is the first table Bob and I bought when we were living in our apartment, and it was a perfect size because it's so small. So I just kept it down here in the basement just in case I needed an area for extra storage, and it did collect a ton of dust. So I'm going back in with my vinegar and water solution and my microfiber cloth and giving it a good wipe down. So I'm going to be finally getting rid of this carpet. I've had it for years. It's one of the first carpets Bobby and I had in our apartment. It used to be my parents, and we got a hold of it. And then as we got new carpeting, we just put it down in the basement where it collected dust as well as a lot of fur. So I'm just finally getting rid of it. I'm ready to part ways because there's really no saving it. And here are just some odds and ends that I had cleaned up from around the basement that I'm going to be getting rid of as well. And as I mentioned, I have tons of windows down here, which is great, but there's definitely a lot of windowsills that need to be vacuumed off. I've never done this area before, and it's in dire need of a good vacuuming, and it's a lot of builder's dust and debris on these windowsills, so I'm really happy to be finally getting rid of all of this from this area. Here's a close-up look of the area just below my windows, and you can see there's a lot of dead creepy crawlers that I have to suck up with my shop vac. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning those bugs up. It's well overdue. I was actually down here last week filming a video with my Hoover on this carpet, and I just saw these little gross dead bugs, and I just knew it was time to do a very good deep clean of my basement. So I do actually have a basement vacuum. It's a Dirt Devil vacuum that I've had for years, and this is what I had before my Dyson, and it still works, and I didn't want to get rid of it because it's perfect for using in the basement. So if you have a vacuum that you've just leveled up to a new one and your old one still works, definitely keep it around, so this way you can use it around spaces like this. And I use my shop vac to do a heavy bulk of the vacuuming, so I'm just going in and using my Dirt Devil to just vacuum around the rest of my basement. So now it's time to tackle those stairs, and this is way overdue. You can just see how much dust was collected on those stairs, and it's been quite a while since I've given this area a really good vacuum. So here's a shot of me sucking up all that hair. So I'm just using my Bissell eraser on the stairs. It's just quick and easy to use, and it did the job perfectly. Back in December, I had posted a video around Christmas time where I created a porch sign that I had drilled holes into to put some Christmas lights in, and I did a lot of the work downstairs in the basement, and there's still a lot of wood chips on the floor from drilling those holes. So I'm just going in with the shop vac, sucking up as many of the big pieces that I could, and then going in with my Dirt Devil and finishing off the floor area. So as I mentioned, there's not much in this basement, but there's definitely a lot of dust and debris, and this is no exception behind the furnace. I wanted to get a good deep clean with my shop vac in this area, considering that this is where the filtration system is for my entire house. I wanted to get rid of as much dust and debris as I could around this area. So I'm just going around the furnace and just giving it a good thorough vacuuming. I want to keep this part in, but this is the part where I break my tripod. I was not paying attention. I didn't lock in one side of the legs and it toppled right over. So thank goodness my phone was not broken, but my tripod did not make it in this video. So I'll definitely have to get a new one. So I have my freezer in the position of just underneath my filtration system that's connected to the ceiling, and it was such an awkward space to get in and out of. So finally I'm just moving it against the wall in my basement, so this way it's a little bit more open space and I can walk around more freely in this corner of the basement. So here's a quick shot of what the basement looks like afterwards. And I know you can't really tell a huge difference by just looking at it this way, but just going through the before and afters, you can see there's definitely been quite an improvement around the basement. I was able to get a lot of the dust, debris, dead bugs sucked up, and now they're a distant memory, and it feels so much more fresh down in the basement since cleaning down here. I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I showed you the nitty-gritty of what was lurking in the shadows of my basement, but now it's nice and clean. So if you love this video, make sure to hit that like button on your way out, as well as subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video when I upload next week.